you want me to do the jobs report, twilight zone that they came up with, that number from the Department of Labor, or do you want me to talk about the Fed pivot? You pick it.
Well, let's start with the jobs.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about that. So where did this number come from? Over 500,000 jobs were created. That's one measurement of employment in the economy, but there's other clues that we could gather. First of all, the ISM, the Institute of Supply Management, has a very, very well-respected survey. And they survey both sectors of the economy, manufacturing and service. Both those sectors show that jobs shrank last month, okay? Let's look then at continuing and initial claims. That number was 160 a few months ago, and it shot up all the way to 260,000 initial jobless claims a week. And the continuing claims are rising. That's another clue as to why you don't believe that this number could actually be real. So they came up with this number, and that led people to believe that the Fed's going to be more hawkish. And the Fed is built upon labor economists. So if they get this very strong number, even though it has no semblance of reality, then they're going to be a little more hawkish. I agree with that. But when you talk about the Fed pivot, when I think of a Fed pivoting, I think of a central banker going to zero, back to zero interest rate policies. I think about a Fed that is lowering interest rates. I think about a Fed that is going back into quantitative easing. What we're talking about here is a Fed that's pivoting from 75 basis point rate hikes, basically 3-in-1 rate hikes, down to hopefully 50 and maybe even 25 basis point rate hikes by the end of the year. Adam, that's not a Fed pivot. That's an excuse for Wall Street to rally. Now, Wall Street had a rally in July. It's a bear market rally. You're down 20% in the stock market. You need 25% to break even. We rallied back just barely 10. So it's an excuse to rally. Bear market rallies are usually 20%. That's the usual amount that they bounce off bottoms. But I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is getting the cycle right. And the cycle is about to take a vicious leg downward.
Okay,
oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the household survey. The household survey, which is another thing that the Labor Department does, they call up households and they say, hey, do you have a job? Do you not have a job? That had been showing job losses throughout most of this year. And they showed about 150,000 person gain last month. But nowhere, in other words, there's no corroborating evidence. Whether you look at ISMs, the household survey, if you look at the fact that GDP had been shrinking for 2 quarters in a row, there's no corroborating evidence that shows that net non-farm payroll growth could be anywhere near 500,000 people.
If you enjoyed this video clip, click here to watch another one you should like.